What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work our way up through the ranks and through the teams and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We are here in the F1 2013 season, the fourth round of the Rags to Riches, the sequel. And we had an amazing season. We had an amazing season in F1 2012. Okay, got off to a slow start, but we picked up some pace towards the end, and we are driving for a pretty incredible car this season in the F1 2013 game. I'm not going to reveal it just yet for you guys, but if you have missed any of the previous episodes, go catch up with the card annotation in the top right-hand corner of your screens. There'll be a playlist in there, and you can catch up with everything that you have missed. And also, to add into this, you've also got the description of all the rules down in the description. I actually need to run through the rules, but I will do that in a sec after we reveal the team that we are driving for. So without any further ado, let's find out who we are driving for in the F1 2013 game. There we have it then, Lotus. We are driving for Lotus in the F1 2013 game. An incredible end to the F1 2012 season. Saw us get, I think, like 5 race wins in the space of Italy to America. So, an amazing, amazing season end in the F1 2012 game. Even though we struggled in quite a lot of races, we still managed to prevail and get second place in the championship, which means that we are driving for Lotus this season. So, what do we have to do to get a good drive in F1 2014? Well, in the F1 2014 game, we get a choice of every single team. So, if we win the championship this season, we will drive for Mercedes in F1 2014. If we get second, it's Red Bull. Third is Williams. Fourth is Ferrari. Fifth is Mclaren, with sixth being Force India. Seventh will be Toro Rosso. Eighth to 10th will be a drive for Lotus once again. But remember, in the 2014 season, they were not a good car. 11th to 13th will be Marussia. 14th to 17th will be Sauber, and 18th to 22nd will be Caterham for next season. So that is the new rules for the season. If you want to, check up on that and just get to grips with it, they will all be down in the description for you guys to check out. And I put a vote at the start of the Rags to Riches, the sequel, back in round 1 in the F1 2010 game. I asked you guys whether you wanted to see the classic tracks on this game come into the season, and I'm happy to announce that they will be coming into the season. We'll be adding them right to the end, so we're going to run through the normal career mode all the way up till the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I believe it is, at the finale. Let me just check on that. I think it is Abu Dhabi as we scroll all the way over to the right. Come on. Is it Abu Dhabi or is it Brazil? No, it is Brazil. So, we will go all the way to the Brazilian Grand Prix, and then we will add on Brands Hatch, Jerez, what's the other two? It is the San Marino Grand Prix, and the other one is Estoril in Portugal. And I'm going to leave it up to you guys for which order you want those tracks to be. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know which order you want. So first track, second track, third track, and fourth track. And, yeah, whichever one is most popular in those positions, I will try and sort it out as best I can for the season. So this season is going to consist of 23 rounds. It's going to be a big old long season, but it's going to be really, really enjoyable. So, without any further ado, all of that is explained, all of that is out of the way. Let's get on with the 2013 season. And looking at the email straight away, information for Melbourne, nice and sunny across the whole race weekend, which is pretty good for us. Not really anything to talk about there, neither there. Race results data, nope, and welcome to Lotus. We don't really have to worry about that. And the team actually want me to get 4th in the Drivers' Championship at the end of the season. So it's going to be tricky, but I reckon we've got a good chance of doing that. Lotus are a good car in this season. So, without any further ado, let's head over to the first round, the Australian Grand Prix, and get the F1 2013 season underway. Here we go then, one-shot qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. And we've reverted back to the old one-shot qualifying. One session for the qualifying. Let's see what we can do as we go down in towards turn 1. We actually have a new helmet this season. We've opted away from the yellow and blue sort of brick helmet that we've had in previous seasons. Really struggling with the oversteer at the moment on this game. Really, really struggling with the steering. But, I mean, this is a new game. I've literally just jumped onto it. No practice whatsoever. So, yeah, let me off a little bit in the first round. It's going to take me a little while to get up to grips with this game, just like it did in F1 2012. So, just allow me some time to get used to the game and maybe adjust adjust setups and stuff like that. But hopefully we can still have enough pace in the car. Pit, get out of the way. Get out of my way, buddy. Goodness sake, that's annoying. That's really slowing me down. Although I'm already 2.6 seconds off the pace of Sebastian Vettel. So that is really not good at the moment. But like I said, I've got a new helmet this season. A bit of orange, a bit of black. So let me know what you think about the helmet. If you like it and you want to keep it, let me know in the comment section down below. But if you want the blue and yellow one to return, then I can most certainly do that. As I'm 5 seconds off the pace through sector 2. Wow, that is so slow. That's why I'm in lean mix. Okay, we're going for one more lap. If I can make it round to the start-finish line, we will go for one more lap in this qualifying session. Right, here we go, round the final corner now for what could actually be our lap in this qualifying session. Going to put it up into rich mix. I need to sneeze, which is not a good way to end the lap. Just about making the line. Wow, 7 seconds off the pace. That is just truly terrible in this qualifying session. But let's see what we can do now. I'm not too sure whether there's a little bit of rain out on track. So that could definitely upset the car. But let's see what we can do in this lap. Already 1.3 seconds down on Sebastian Vettel's time. And that's ruined it. There we go. Across the grass there. That's completely ruined this lap time. There is no way now that we're going to be getting into the top half of the field, unfortunately. We'll see what we can do in this lap. We may be able to do it still, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Here we go then, through the final corner for our second lap in this one-shot qualifying. Kind of ruined one-shot qualifying, but here we go, down towards the line. It's not going to be good enough to get in pole position. I think it's going to be 20 seconds still. Okay, it's 18th. That's not too bad. It's still 18th. That's sort of our usual spot there, where we kind of get an 18th place, especially at the start of the season when we're just getting grips to the game. At least we beat the back markers. Okay, we didn't beat Jules Bianchi by much, but at least we still managed to beat him and get into P18. So it's still not too bad at the end of the day. I'm very happy with that. And pole position went to Lewis Hamilton for today's race, with Sebastian Vettel in second, Nico Rosberg third, Fernando Alonso in fourth, and Mark Webber in 5th. And yeah, not too sure about 18th place. Australia is a track that after F1 2011 we don't tend to do well. It definitely changes in terms of the game. I think F1 2011 and F1 2010 is quite easy to be good at Australia, whereas after that, for 2012 onwards, it's quite difficult to be good at F1 at the Australian Grand Prix. But we'll see what we can do in the race. We are pretty good at the start. Hopefully that can continue on to the F1 2013 game. And hopefully we can get up the field and maybe score some decent points here today. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. So without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the Australian Grand Prix. Here we go then. It's race day for the Australian Grand Prix, starting P18 on the grid. It wasn't the best of qualifying sessions for myself, but at least we managed to beat the back markers, which isn't too bad at the end of the day. Race strategy for today's race, starting on the option tyres, pitting for the primes. I'm not too sure about the race strategy on this game, so I'm just going to stick to the normal one. Options at the start, primes for the end. And the options don't actually last too long in this race. It's a 15-lap race, options only lasting for 5 laps, with the primes lasting for a whole 10. So we're going to go cautious on the fuel strategy, pump in the rich mix at the start of the race. Unfortunately, Kimi Räikkönen has beaten me in the first out qualify. We don't tend to do well though in the qualifying sessions, and we do a lot better in the races. Hopefully we can beat Kimi across the rest of the races. Nothing else really to talk about, 0% chance of rain. So without any further ado, let's get the first race of this 2013 season underway. Lewis Hamilton lines up in pole position in his new Mercedes car for the Australian Grand Prix, beating Sebastian Vettel there to pole position. Kimi Räikkönen had a pretty good qualifying session. There is myself in P18 with my brand new spanking helmet. Maybe we should go back to the old one because it seems like it may be a luckier helmet. We'll just have to wait and see. Its lights come on now. It is 5 red lights. It is lights out for the 2013 season. We are underway at the Australian Grand Prix. Not the best of starts at the moment for myself, but down in towards turn 1, this is where we can pick up the positions. Braking late down the AI drive's gone up the inside. Gutierrez and a Force India as well up the inside, and already up into P13. A decent start from myself, being crowded out a little bit there by Bottas on my left-hand side by side with the Finn, but then going to go up the inside now in towards this corner, up the inside of all these guys, including Button and Perez. Felipe Massa running it wide through turn 3. Going to try to go around the outside of Perez. Oh, we've been caught on each other. He's forced me out wide there, but luckily I haven't lost out any positions to Nico Hülkenberg behind me. Good line through the chicane there. Still right on the tail of Felipe. Picking up that slipstream, that very important slipstream, as we go down in towards this right. Oh, losing the back end. Not the best of grip through that corner there. Maybe because we were in Massa's dirty air. As somebody's going up the inside, Nico Hülkenberg having a little look up the inside through that corner. Unable to go for the overtake, though. Drifting it a little bit wide. We haven't got the car really hooked up for the final sector. I feel like it's better at the beginning of the lap. So hopefully we can catch up to Massa through there. Or running it wide there through turn 3. That is not good. And that is going to allow Nico Hulkenberg to take away 9th position from us. That is bad. That is really bad in this race. Losing the back end through. They're struggling through that fast right-hander as well. Usually you can take that flat out. Here today, it doesn't look like you can. But let's see if we can get back at Nico Hulkenberg. If we can just start to get into a rhythm, we may be able to put in some fast laps. So far, this race has not been too bad. We're still in P10. We're quite lonely at the moment. We had a gap to Massa, but the gap is only 2.1 seconds to Felipe Massa, so it's not too bad. And we do, of course, have a gap to Felipe Perez. Who on earth is Felipe Perez? To Sergio Perez behind us, that one being 1.4. Unfortunately, we just can't get close enough to Massa to go for the overtake, and Perez can't get close enough to us to go for an overtake as well. So, yeah, we're stuck in a bit of a boring phase at the moment, but the pit stop phase is coming up, so we'll see what that has in store for us. Right then, pit stop time in this Australian Grand Prix, taking it nice and easy as we come into the pit lane. Massa continues on his journey at this Australian Grand Prix. A lot of other drivers coming into the pits at the moment. We're going to gain a little bit on those guys, I think, as we come into the pit lane, but not by too much. The Ferrari of Alonso gets out ahead of us. We come into our pit box there. What sort of time is it going to be switching onto those white wall tyres? So that is why those white wall tyres can last longer, because of course they are the harder tyres. I think that they're the mediums. They're the medium tyres, not the softs. So that is why, of course, they are lasting longer. But P14, and we are going to drop down a little bit further in the field behind some of the back markers, but it shouldn't be too bad at the end of the day. Side by side with a back marker there, but getting out ahead of him and in P15. Right, now we need to push. We need to push to try and get the undercut on the guys behind us. Gaining quite a bit to Max Chilton at the moment. Maybe looking to go for an overtake on the Brit. Not quite able to do it through there. But we should be able to get him down in towards the chicane. We're very close behind Max Chilton. No, we should be able to get him in towards this corner. Going to the left. Oh, a big bump there with Max Chilton as we lost the car all over the place. But we get the job done. And we get the car turned in for the corner. Jenson Button has a problem in today's race, going very slowly out on track. Unfortunately, safety car has been deployed. Unfortunately, that may actually work out to the leader's favour, but I'm going to keep it in rich mix, try and go as quickly as I possibly can, just in case those guys ahead of me go slower and I can actually gain some time on them. Let's see what happens. The safety car came out, remember, in the original Rags to Riches at the Australian Grand Prix when I was driving for Sauber in that time. And it actually helped us get from P10 to P5. So we'll see what happens here today. Oh, I've run it very wide. That's not going to help. But let's see what it can do through the final corner. Who are we going to jump, if anybody? Has it helped me out, or has it helped them out? It should get me out ahead of these two guys. And I'm going to come out in P11, maybe jumping Sergio Perez. Nope, not quite. Unfortunately, it is going to be... No, it's P10. It is P10, of course, because Jenson Button is out of the race. But we're going to put it down to lead mix. That is good news for our fuel, because it does mean that we're going to have some spare fuel on board. And I'm going to literally just pounce on the safety car restart. And hopefully, I can gain a lot of positions from that as well. Can you believe it, though? We are on Season 4 of the Rags to Riches, the sequel. 3 seasons where you can have a safety car. And this is our only our second safety car in the series so far. This is incredible stuff. It's pretty exciting, to be fair, when you get a safety car. And hopefully, we can actually use it to our advantage. Get close to the guys ahead of us and pounce down in towards turn 1. Okay, then. Safety car is in this lap with 7 laps left to go in this race. Right behind Sergio Perez, putting it up into rich mix, ready to go, weaving the wheels. Keep the temperature in the tyres because we want to be very quick at the safety car restart. Not too sure when the leader is going to pounce, but I need to be ready for that. Here we are, right behind Sergio Perez. When's he going to go? When is he going to go? Please, go, 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 go. Just go now. Go now, Perez. I don't know when I can overtake as well. Is it at the green flag? Or is it after that? It's going to be, I bet you it's going to be midway as I go through this corner. Nope. It's going to be around the final corner. Okay, here we go. Safety car restart on Sergio Perez, and I've lost the back end going through that corner. But using all of our curves down in towards turn 1. Can we get Sergio Perez down in towards this corner? Here we go, side by side with Sergio Perez, up the inside into the corner, side by side with the Mclaren drive. He's running wide, and there we go, job done, up into P9. So we have gained a position in this race, I believe. I believe we were in P10. Yes, because we lost out to Nico Hulkenberg. Now up next is Nico Hulkenberg. We've done the same thing. We've run it wide down in towards turn 3. At least this time, we've managed to hold position to the... No, we haven't. We've run it a little bit loose and a little bit of kick of oversteer as the back end snaps out on us. But finally, oh my god, holding on to P9. Okay, that was not good start after the safety car. But let's put in some decent laps and let's see what we can do. Oh, I think Nico Hulkenberg. Yes, Nico Hulkenberg is going slowly. I thought he was running slowly out to that corner. And there we go. Our second failure of this race. And this is going to be an interesting F1 2013 season if the rest of it is like that. We are already up into P8. Okay, it's not as good as we did the first time around in Rags to Riches, where we got P5, I believe we did, in the Australian Grand Prix. But P8 at the moment, starting from 18th on the grid. It's not too bad. Here goes Sergio Perez then down in towards turn 1. Will he go for the overtake up the inside? He's going to try it. No, he doesn't. He backs out of it. And he will not be taking that. He backs out lows. Look at the gap now that I have to Sergio Perez. I think this may have been the game that when the AI went up the inside, they just completely backed out of it. So it looks like overtaking on this game is going to be non-existent from the AI cars. Unless I just carry on making mistakes like that. Then it doesn't look like it's going to happen this season. Final lap here at the Australian Grand Prix. Still holding on to P8 at the moment. But we have Sergio Perez right on my tail. He may go to the right-hand side. He has a little look up the inside. Down in towards someone. Brakes early. And completely backs out of that move. Just like we predicted. Like I said, I think the AI just back off so much down in towards turn 1. Unluckily for us, we just don't have the pace to compete with Fernando Alonso. Apparently, Kimi Raikkonen is running 3 seconds a lap faster than myself, which I wouldn't be surprised at because I think the pole position time was a 1:24.7, and our best is a 1:28.3. So, yeah, our lap times haven't exactly been the greatest around this circuit, but first race of the season, getting used to the car, it's a lot better than we did in the 2012 season. I think we got like 16th in that race. P8, 4 points on board at the moment is a pretty decent result if we can hold on to it. But at the moment, I can't see Sergio Perez getting past us. Lewis Hamilton wins the first race of the season and wins his first race in that Mercedes car. Through the final couple of corners now for us. Our tyre wear is looking quite bad at the moment, but just enough to keep it on the black stuff and not puncture any of our tyres just yet. Through the final corner, using our curves down towards the line. It should be enough to defend against Sergio Perez. And there we go, P8 after an awful qualifying session down in P18. P8 in today's race is a pretty decent result. We beat the team objective. Unfortunately, Kimi Raikkonen beats us today and gets the podium in P3. But that's good points for the team. It's good points for the team in the Constructors' Championship, so I'm not too worried about that. And there we go. The winner was Lewis Hamilton in today's race. Mark Webber finishes in 2nd, with Kimi Raikkonen in 3rd, Nico Rosberg 4th, Sebastian Vettel in 5th, Felipe Massa in 6th, Fernando Alonso in 7th. Not a good day for both of the Ferrari drivers. It's myself in P8 with Sergio Perez 9th, Valtteri Bottas in 10th for the Williams team. That's a great result for Valtteri Bottas, getting a point for the Williams. The Williams car was awful in 2013, so to get a point here today is absolutely incredible. Daniel Ricciardo finished in 11th for Toro Rosso, with Adrian Sutil in 12th as well. Both those guys just missing out on the points here today. Any surprises? Esteban Gutierrez way down the field in the Sauber. Nico Hulkenberg did not finish. And Jenson Button also not finishing. Both those drivers, I believe, had engine failures. Nico Hulkenberg definitely had an engine blowout. Jenson Button just was going slowly. I'm not too sure what on earth happened to that driver. We just have to, make predictions. It was definitely a fault for the McLaren driver, but whether or not it was engine, I'm not entirely sure. But that is it for the race. Let's have a look at the driver standings, although that's going to be exactly the same as the race results. So Lewis Hamilton currently leads the way. We are in P8, which is currently a Lotus seat for next season. So we are currently holding on to a Lotus seat for F1 2014. We want to improve on that though, and I definitely think that we can. We're going to have circuits coming up where we should be a lot better than the AI. So fingers crossed we can just hook it down and get a decent result for next season. I'm aiming for around Ferrari, Mercedes or Williams, around the top 4 teams. If I can get one of the top 4, then that'll be a great F1 2014 season for us. But we will just have to wait and see. Constructors standings though is a little bit different. The Lotus team are up into P19 after a podium for Kimi Raikkonen here today and 4 points for myself. So 19 points on board. P3 at the moment. Infinity Red Bull Racing in 2nd and Mercedes leading the way of the championship right now. Lewis Hamilton getting a win. I think Nico Rosberg got in P4, so a good day for the Mercedes team. It's a surprise that only 6 teams in the championship so far have scored points. Usually, a lot more have. Sauber can definitely score points this season. So can Force India and so can Toro Rosso. So no doubt those guys will score points. Whether the Marussias and the Caterhams will score points as well, it is, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. But that's it for the first round of the F1 2013 season. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. And I will see you next time for round 2, the Malaysian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.